creepy as fuck.
That was creepy as fuck. You're right.
Dog, what are you doing in here? You're gonna be annoying if you stay in here.
Get
Howdy,
Zeus,
Google Pluses!
get Zeus the fuck out of here.
Hang on. Come here. Come here. This is my dog Zeus. Hi.
Uh-oh.
Hi. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute, isn't he? Oh. I say, hello, Google Pluses. Hello, Google Plus. Hello. Hello. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, your breath smells like beer.
I think everybody is like, what the hell are you doing? I
That's
don't think
pretty
it's just a
true.
dog.
That's pretty true. I'll be right back in a second.
Go put the dog outside. Jesus Christ. Making shit, god damn it. Oh my goodness. I have a cold. I have a cold. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great show because it's you and I, and you and I are the best combination.
Because I have a cold.
Sorry to Sean and Josh.
BROADCAST.
I wonder if Jelly Bellies will go good with beer.
Apparently they make beer-flavored Jelly Bellies now.
Really?
I think you can only get them in, like, California or some shit, but they do exist.
It sounds like a California thing.
A draft beer Jelly Belly.
Okay, now take a swig of beer.
Oh, God. I don't know what we're doing on this show.
No, not a great combination.
Gross.
Who would have thunk it?
Alright, so that's, I'm going to do that. I'm going to click on that, and I got that, and this, and this, and that.
Today I am drinking, as usual, a Leinenkugel Summer Shandy because
but
it is summer.
they don't sponsor us.
They should.
Sean has graced us with his presence before he has to leave, saying, I have to go, but I just wanted to leave you with one thought before I do. Queef. That is all.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you very much. Go,
I
dude.
appreciate
Go fuck off.
Sean, next time you're on the show, I've got a big surprise for you.
Okay. It's a surprise for me too because you described it, but I do not know. You didn't describe it in detail.
Nope.
So I know of it.
Yes.
But I don't know what it is.
So I'll leave you with that, Sean. I'll leave you with that.
Assuming he's still here and hasn't left already.
He might have. You can tell how many people are watching, so.
I have a cold. All right. Shall we start the recording?
Yeah, let's get this going. Let's see if I can go for a run by the time we're done.
The hell episode is this? 159. Holy shit.
Wow.
Episode 159 in 3, 2, 1, record. This week's episode of The Rundown is brought to you by Jimmy Russo's. Do you need a fake fan letter to prove that people like you? Call Jimmy Russo's. We'll get you a handwritten letter that will tell the world just how awesome you are. Jimmy Russo's. Not even the informer will know it's fake. There are rumors going around that AJ Lee's return to WWE television is just a welcome mat in front of the door for CM Punk's eventual return.
That's funny as shit.
How dumb are people?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Sure.
Roughly 17,000.
Yeah. See, you're being nice.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen ever.
Nope.
Although, I'm sure we'll talk about there might be a shocking return next week of someone different.
Let's get to the rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You gotta find some way to fill the awkward silence.
Jelly bellies are so yummy, in my mouth. I will eat them all right now.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Inviting more speculation than Sting's Twitter. It's episode 159 of The Rundown. My name is Adam. I'm your host, and it is Wednesday, July the 9th, 2014. I'm a whole year older. And none of you cunts got me a birthday present.
This cunt did.
Well, I suppose.
I bought your dinner.
It was a lobster BLT wrap. It was delicious.
It was.
Joining me this
Look,
week, Andy is back from vacation.
it was an amazing vacation. We got to hang out for the first time, and God, I don't even remember the last time we hung out.
It was pouring rain, which is probably why I have a cold.
Probably true.
But we went to the aquarium.
It was pretty awesome, and wandered around downtown a little bit. And
I touched a ray. I touched a ray on his back. As
you
it
did.
swelled underneath.
It told us how to touch a ray.
It did. It told us there was a sign and everything, and then there was a hand rinsing station that for some reason did not have soap. It's just water and
yeah. It didn't seem very sanitary for an aquarium where you're touching aquatic animals.
My favorite part was that at the touch tank, the little sign said, "We use the hand dryers to protect the environment from paper waste." And then in the men's room, no fucking hand dryers. It was just paper towels.
Yeah. So double standard right there. It's a little confusing.
Anyway.
So yeah, we're here. We're ready for talk about some wrestling. We're gonna flop things around this time. I've actually watched just about every single WWE program this week, and Adam has seen one.
All I watched was Raw.
Yeah. So I'll know what I'm talking about for once, and Adam will be like,
Well, I'm like that usually.
Let's look at the numbers.
Let's, shall we? We are almost at giveaway time.
Yes, remember, 100 gets a copy of my chapbook.
We gained 3 followers last week.
Yes, we did.
We are at 98 Twitter followers.
I think it's safe to say that our Twitter is no longer a Twitterus, and it's kind of just a little chubby. It's like a little baby chubby.
It's like a chode.
Yeah, that's like. Yes.
Our Twitter chode.
Our Twitter, our I can't come up with a good way to combine Twitter and chode together.
No. No, because that just sounds like toad, and that's completely different. 2 more followers will be at 100. Whoever the 100th follower is.
No, that sounds weird.
Whoever
the cat in your tank over there.
We can't keep him off the damn thing.
Okay, all right.
It's not gonna break though.
Okay. We say that now, and then a little bit later, crash.
No, we actually had to buy that one because a cat put his foot through the top of a different one. So
anyway, Catcast.
2 more Twitter followers, and we will give away a chapbook.
Keeping my eye out on it. I'm telling you what.
Speaking of chapbooks.
Yeah.
There's kind of an update to the official listener, but not quite.
Oh, tell me more.
So Glenn Morton, who visited us last week, and we do still appreciate that, is our official listener.
He is our official listener. That's true.
With $10 in total donation through PayPal, and he has purchased a copy of the chapbook for $2.
Well, you mean Chasing Distant Horizons, a chapbook of poetry?
That very chapbook.
That very chapbook that you can get on your own?
There is a challenger to Mr. Morton's However, Aaron Glass has donated $25.
Wow.
All at once, which was really nice of him.
That's very nice.
But has not bought a chapbook.
That son of a bitch.
So he is not the official listener.
No, Glenn is.
Purchased the chapbook.
3 weeks now since Glenn has been our official listener.
So.
See what you're missing out on? You're missing out on amazing poetry. Just go right now, sir, to tinyurl.com/Distant Horizons and get your copy.
That's right. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
If you want to be the official listener, donate more than $10 right now and buy a chapbook.
Yeah.
More than $10 and a chapbook, and you'll become the new official listener.
Podcast is free for you, not free for us.
Because we are not above using bribery to get people to send us money.
It's very true. And give us reviews on iTunes as well. It's been a while.
We're still waiting for those. So, with that, let's look back at the week that was Tell us what happened on NXT, Andrew.
I would be so glad to, and I could just make bullshit up, and you would have no idea if I was telling you the truth or
You
not.
really could.
Superstars of Tomorrow are on display once again. I cannot honestly remember the last time I caught NXT, and I'm super excited to see what's going on these days at Full Sail University. We start the night with Big Cass, followed to the ring by someone by the name of Enzo Amore.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the ugly little guy is Cass's mouthpiece. The two get on my
Which is
nerves
good because
pretty quickly.
Like a promo to save
No,
his life.
I agree. And then they both get on my nerves pretty quickly, and I realize that I'm officially not a fan of either of these two. Just don't care for them. Tonight, Cass takes on one of the Legionnaires, Sylvester Lefort.
Disease.
Cass makes very short work winning with the East River Crossing after some French smack talking.
I don't believe it.
It's surprising, I know. Backstage, Adrian Neville talks about beating RVD, and he's interrupted by, of all people, of course, Tyler Breeze. He says it must be killing him not knowing when he's going to cash in his title opportunity, killing him just as much as his Uggo face does when he looks at it in the mirror. Neville challenges him tonight, but Breeze has to decline, having suffered a career-threatening injury to his hand in a hand modeling accident. He even had his finger in a splint and all.
Tyler Breeze is actually killing me softly with his eyes.
Oh, I was gonna say with the song, possibly. What did you think of the dance? I showed you the dance when we got together. I showed you the Tyler Breeze dance. It was amazing. Anyway, tonight Sami Zayn takes on Justin Gabriel. Also, Charlotte and Sasha Banks compete together in tag team diva action.
How could that go wrong?
Yeah, we come back to a video package from for the last of a dying breed, aka that dude with that really low singlet where you can see his navel, Bull Dempsey. NXT Women's Champion Charlotte and Sasha's opponents tonight are Bayley and Becky Lynch, who I'm not familiar with, but I think you mentioned in one of last week or the week before the show.
She and her one dance move debuted last week.
Yeah, she wasn't dancing this time around, so that was
God.
Good. But they do come out with a really bizarre entrance. They come out with wacky waving inflatable tube men.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yes, which all have names, by the way. There's Lala and Bruno
and Dipsy and
Sydney,
Poe and Tinky
and I think they say Azaria, which was that maybe I misheard. That was really an odd name.
Azaria?
I don't know. Maybe. The match is good.
Did it look like Mo Sislak?
I don't know. Not so much. It had a lot more energy. The match was good, but I'm also really distracted by a tattoo on Charlotte's left side, like under her, like top, and I'm trying to read it throughout the entire match. I'm not paying as much attention as I probably should. It does go 2 segments and does, from what I do watch, display the abilities of all 3 women involved. Of course, obviously not counting Sasha Banks. Bow Down to the Queen takes down Lynch. After the match, Bayley gets in a shot on Banks, and Charlotte doesn't really seem to care to help her out at all. What's that?
Nothing, just singing a song.
Okay. Backstage, Justin is talking, and his haircut reminds me of the Wendy's chick. He's interrupted by Tyson Kidd, who calls Gabriel a main roster star. When did that happen?
Oh, yeah, Justin Gabriel.
Yeah. Kidd reminds him that he lost to Neville, and Kidd says the same thing happened to him. He talks about the typical WWE formula. You start big, you make a big impact on TV, you get pushed down to NXT, and you disappear to go serve fries somewhere. Surprisingly, Kidd tries to fire him up, saying he should try to push down everyone getting in the way of his spot. Justin promises to prove Kidd wrong by beating Sami Zayn. Not really sure he'd be proving him wrong. He'd be doing exactly what he said he should do. But
all you gotta do is Kidd leave.
Yeah, baby. Charlotte tells Banks backstage that she wants to go her separate ways alone. Banks gets pissy. They bitch about Summer for some reason. Apparently Summer and Bayley are going to fight for a number 1 contendership. And I tune out. Speaking of tuning out, C.J. Parker is in action. And for once...
Wait, he actually got a match?
It seems like he's going to wrestle. At least At least I thought he was. But he does. I mean, because he gets on the mic and starts talking, and I started thinking he isn't going to. Apparently he has some issues with Xavier Woods. Tonight he does fight. He fights some buff white dude in blue trunks named Steve Cutler. making his debut, I guess. Parker picks up an easy victory, looking rather stern the whole time, as he's wont to do. After the match, Parker talks up Woods, almost having a doctorate, but not succeeding on the main roster. We get another interview segment between Tyson Kidd and Renee Young. It's a really lengthy, kind of boring one, where he tries to cover up his shitty behavior over the last several weeks, and basically living in his wife's shadow. The interview's boring, even though the questions aren't too bad. Renee finally asks specifically about the marital problems he's having, and he gets really angry, gives her the stink eye, and leaves the interview. Time for the main event, Zayn versus Gabriel. Gabriel is being accompanied by Kidd for some reason. Not sure what's going on between those two. As one might expect, it's a quick technical bout. The sickest moves of the match include a wicked neck breaker on Zayn that I really can't even describe, that looked just so sick and gorgeous. A moonsault by Gabriel, where he springboarded from the top ropes. Zayn eventually wins with a insane-looking submission hold, which I couldn't catch the name of. Kidd looks dejected on the outside, and after the match he attacks Zayn. Gabriel tells Kidd to knock it off, but then eventually joins in on the attack. Adrian Neville comes in to Zayn's aid, and we go off the air.
Wait, so Justin Gabriel is now a heel in NXT?
Apparently he's a heel now. So there you go. There's that. So yeah, I would say thoughts, but you didn't see it, so.
Sounded interesting.
Yeah, not too bad. Moving on to SmackDown.
Yes.
Since apparently I'm going to talk a lot today.
Yes.
Fire up the grill because it's Friday Night SmackDown on the 4th of July, if you ignore the fact that it was taped several days before, of course.
I was kind of busy on Friday.
Well, you know.
And then my DVR didn't record it at all. So, yeah.
Freaking bastards.
It'll record, but my DVR for some reason likes to record on Friday when it actually does.
You do know.
It records.
So you do know it's on Hulu, right?
I don't get that channel. And then it'll record Friday on Sci-Fi, and then usually it will also record Saturday on the Spanish channel.
Ah, yes, of
because
course.
they replay it at 9 and 11 p.m. on Mundos.
Nice.
But for some reason, it did not record any of those playings this week. Maybe
Good
because of the
times.
holiday. I don't know.
I don't know.
Either way.
We open with a recap of Raw and a recap of Money in the Bank and the announcements of the Fatal 4-Way at Battleground. Normally I complain about recaps, but since I didn't watch anything before this week, it was kind of nice to figure out what was going on in the first 3 minutes of the show. So I can see why they do that. We start the show proper with your Money in the Bank briefcase holder, my fellow Quad Cityan Seth Rollins. Tonight he has a message for John Cena. He got lucky on Monday, but sooner rather than later he will cash in and become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. As expected, he's interrupted by Dean Ambrose. He reminds Seth that he'll always be there despite all the plans that he and his sugar daddy Triple H concoct. You know, it's kind of a weird statement. We get another replay of Raw. Okay, now this is getting to be a bit much. Dean promises that the briefcase is a curse, and he'll ruin him each and every time he tries to cash in. Things break down to a brawl in the ring, but Orton comes out of nowhere and gives the assist to Rollins. Cue Roman Reigns coming to help his former Shield member. Could we see a tag team match tonight? Just as I think I'm right, here comes Triple H, who instead puts Ambrose one-on-one against Randy Orton. And if Roman Reigns interferes in that match, he's out of the Battleground 4-Way. Later tonight, Jericho returns to SmackDown. Also, Alberto takes on Sheamus for the U.S. Championship. Speaking of that match, it's next after the break. Our perfect picture of the United States champion, the Irish-born Sheamus, is introduced first, followed by a Spanish introduction of Del Rio from Lillian Garcia. JBL incorrectly says defended on Julio de Cuatro, which should actually be the other way around because they say the date first instead of the month. And we get a really good, intense bout from the start. We get a lot of great counters and some amazing physicality, leading to a very good match overall. The best spots include Sheamus's clubbing blows with both men standing on the top rope while doing so, and Del Rio countering White Noise into a cross arm breaker. Ultimately, a missed moonsault by Del Rio, followed by a brogue kick, leads to Sheamus retaining the title. I really like the. I like this feud though. I mean, you know me. I'm a big proponent fan of Del Rio. I like Sheamus, and the matches these two have been putting on have been stellar. They've been really good. So more of that.
I find them boring, but you know.
Yeah. We know you don't have any taste. We come back to a weird Goldust and Stardust promo. They will become a celestial something or other. Rhodes blows some glitter. Goldie almost bites his brother's face. It's just plain odd. Roman Reigns is asked about the main event backstage by Byron Saxton. Ambrose will be fine tonight, he says, and he talks about how he'll be walking out of Battleground as champion. Believe that. Recap of Daniel Bryan's interview at Money in the Bank. He lost his smile or the feeling in his arm or something. I don't know. I'm about to turn past, but then we get that segment with Bo Dallas. Bo leaving boners. Have I mentioned that I love Bo Dallas's like Titantron video?
Yeah.
Because that is like the greatest. I mean, that just adds to his greatness. It's absolutely amazing.
There's a horse running.
There's like a person climbing a mountain.
Yeah, and then there's like an eagle.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Speaking of Bo emerges from the back to talk about how Daniel Bryan is a very special little fellow. He announces that he'll be in the Rumble at Battleground and plans to win the title for little Daniel. The injured superstars in the WWE are all proof that anything is possible as long as you believe. Inspirational. Tonight, for some odd reason, Bo Dallas takes on Diego. Apparently, Fernando is injured. Perhaps a bullfighting accident, like JBL asserts, which Cole tends to shit all over when he tries to play up that he was actually... Michael, he was in a bullfight and he got totally gored by this bull, and all Cole could do was laugh and say, what? Anyway.
Yeah, no, it happened at a house show.
Yeah. Unshockingly, Bo goes 12-0 with another victory.
Yay!
After the match, he calls out the little fella, El Torito. He reminds him that he's a bovine. Nicely played, by the way, Bo. And if he wants to grow taller one day, all he has to do is believe. Proving that he doesn't know how midgets work, by the way. This leads to a gore in the ass of Bo.
Fucking
Bo
midgets,
then,
how do they work?
That's great. Bo then talks to him like all Americans talk to foreigners who don't understand English, very loudly and with wild hand gestures. Torito shakes his balls at Bo, and Bo thankfully slams the stupid bull.
Bulls a twerking, Michael.
Oh, God.
Michael.
If Bo's winning streak ends with a loss to El Torito, I swear to God I'm going to stop watching WWE entirely.
As well you should.
Sadly, more on that later.
I don't understand how that was supposed to make him a heel.
I don't know.
Because fuck that bull.
But the match on Raw and the following him running him over, I died laughing. I lost my shit. More on that later. We get a recap then of Miz and Jericho's big returns. I would watch a Miz and Jericho feud. That would be... I'm all for that. You get
Jericho's got better things to do.
Well, he does, but it's a nice filler. But I think it can be good. We see the Code Breaker. We see the Sheep Cut. We see the Wyatt Beatdown. Did you know, Adam, that WWE 50, that book, is a bestseller? So go buy that shit. Now,
I want that shit. It's on my wish list. But nobody fucking wanted to buy me anything from my birthday.
Sorry, I bought you lobster. Jericho arrives after the break. And I know why the Wyatts attacked him. I've got it. I think I figured it out, Adam. I know why the Wyatts are after Jericho. The secret's out.
What's that?
They have the same basic kind of entrance. The lights go down. It's dark. There's random lights in the crowd. There's like they each have like one little set of lights. The one is like the spotlight. The other is like the shiny jacket. They're the same. They're just mad because they've got their gimmick. Just saying.
Yeah, but Jericho did it first.
Well, yeah, but how would it be logic? Jericho gloats that his return was kept a secret for once, which I find kind of funny because, you know, every time he's tried to come back recently, it's always been kind of spoiled. And then he calls Bray a giant dark spider. His 3-on-1 beatdown, it was not good. And then he thanks the Wyatts for some reason. He thanks them for reminding him that the WWE isn't just about lighted jackets and Y2J chants. It's a dangerous land of survival. Jericho uses the phrase, quote, "You've never worked with anyone like me," and I can't help but chuckle at that particular kind of breaking the kayfabe sort of phrasing. If the Wyatts want to get crazy, Jericho can get crazy. If they want to get nuts, he'll go nuts! Cheap cut to a Wyatt promo. He formally introduces himself to Chris and says he has 1,000 names. Kind of like Lucifer or something. He says, "Save us, Chris. Save yourself." Jericho calls out Wyatt, and instead we get the Miz's introduction. Totally digging the superstar, movie star gimmick. Miz is being what I wanted to be all along. He's being a true heel. Miz would have helped Jericho last week, but he broke the golden rule. He tried to hurt his moneymaker, his face. As soon as Miz gets back into the ring, he gets another code breaker for everything. So there was that. Yeah. Don't forget Ambrose and Orton tonight. Big E set for action, and he's still doing that whole preacher voice thing in a pre-taped interview, and it's kind of weird.
It is
tonight.
Weird.
Yeah, tonight he takes on Cesaro. We get a recap of the finish from Raw that ended during the break. And I have to say, Cesaro's beatdown on Kingston was insane. Heyman talks up Cesaro. He'll be the next Intercontinental Champion, blah, blah, blah. The bell never sounds for this bout, and Cesaro just kind of beats the shit out of Big E for a long time. But unlike with what happened with Kofi, Big E Langston's size works in his favor. The battle stays outside. We get a few chair shots, all kinds of shenanigans. Cesaro eventually gets dragged out by Heyman when the tide starts turning. Backstage, AJ Lee is skipping with her title. What a waste of a freaking championship reign for Paige. Tonight she takes on that redheaded chick from Total Divas. Why? I don't know. Paige is ringside for this match, and she's smiling, oddly. Eva Marie is going to wrestle. Fuck! Why the hell? Obviously, the only reason she's involved probably is to promote Total Divas, right? That's got to be it, right?
Bad that I missed that.
Yikes. Black Widow makes short work of the bimbo.
Yay.
Paige claps at ringside and makes her way into the ring to congratulate the newly crowned champion.
Yay.
And there's no attack. Paige leaves. Letting the crowd know that Punk perhaps gave AJ the clap. Is that what she's doing? Like, just all the clapping? Is that what's going on there? I don't know.
Nice.
Anyway. During the break, there's an odd promo about WWE counting the amount of production trucks and pyros and cameras they use. Perhaps some way to combat all the stuff about their amount of, financial woes? I don't know. And oh God, when we come back,
God.
Damian Sandow is dressed like Bruce Springsteen. For a minute, I think he's going to join and try to rebuild three-man band. But anyway, nope. Just crushed by Rusev.
Yeah.
We get some cheap heat. All the fourth is good for is getting fatter, according to Lana. This brings Swagger and Uncle Zeb out to confront the, quote, Karl Marx lovers who probably, quote, are ungrateful illegal immigrants. Pop quiz time for Lana. Who invented the internet? The automobile? Put the first person on the moon? Not a Russian. Yeah, you don't know. Very bizarre.
America.
The only thing they invented worth of crap was vodka, as he says. Rusev and Lana, if that is her real name, back down, as he says.
It's not.
Which I found funny. I hate to say it, but I'm actually kind of interested in this feud. If anything, for the mouthpieces involved.
It's got a chance, I think.
I think it does. Your main event is up next. Ambrose and Orton. Rollins graces us with commentary for this bout. We get a very physical fight between the two. Near the end, Ambrose rushes Rollins at the table, taking out his frustrations. Back in the ring, Ambrose cleans house until Orton reverses the tide with a big-time power slam. Ambrose counters his middle rope DDT by backdropping him over the ropes. As Ambrose goes for a suicide dive, Rollins gets some revenge by smashing him with the briefcase on the outside. Orton puts the final stamp on the moment with an RKO. Orton holds Ambrose as Rollins goes to the top, going to hit the big kind of Seth penalty from the top. Reigns makes his way out and puts an end to the double teaming by shoving Rollins from the top and Superman punching Orton. The Authority's men take off. Reigns' music plays and we go off the air. We have a comment on the side from Troy who says, somewhere Vince McMahon is wondering why AJ Lee didn't beat Paige in a Braun and Panties match. On second thought, I'm wondering the same thing. Fair enough. Thoughts on SmackDown, Adam?
Sounded typical.
Yeah. Is that not too bad, actually? It wasn't too bad. So tell me about that there Raw, which I watched this week.
You did get to watch this week.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the first 15 minutes of Raw because fuck my DVR, but I came into the middle of Usos versus Wyatt's episode 359. Luke Harper wins with that awesome clothesline. Maybe they'll get another title shot and actually win this time.
Maybe.
Jimmy argues that he was the legal man, but they're twins, so fuck them. You want to try a double team maneuver, you get fucked when the wrong guy ends up in the ring by himself. Meanwhile, at commentary, JBL, suit. Michael Cole, suit. Jerry Lawler, sky blue t-shirt with a giant cross on it.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants anymore. He almost died in that arena.
Later tonight, Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton. Backstage, Orton is talking to Kane about Roman Reigns beating Kane up earlier. Apparently that's what started the show. He promises that he would have been at Kane's side if it had gone on for 1 second longer. Kane says they will make sure that the title comes back to the Authority at Battleground. Seth appears to brag about his briefcase. Randy hates Seth. Kane hates Randy, so all is well.
Indeed.
When we come back, the Authority have decided to make the Divas matches even harder to watch by having Nikki versus Alicia Fox, each with an arm tied behind their back.
So, Mike, I have two comments here. First of all, going back to the segment with where they're all kind of the three members of the Authority, cronies or whatever, were talking backstage.
Yeah.
Like, when Seth leaves, Orton's just like, man, I really hate that kid. Trying to be all nice and bond with Kane, and Kane's a dick, and he's just like, I hate you more. That's point number one. Number two, why the fuck were both of their hands going to be tied behind their back? Why is that a punishment? Like, why? Like, wouldn't you think it would make more sense if only Nikki's hand was tied behind her back?
Well, no, because then it's not fair.
But
because
fast forward to main event when it was a quote 6-on-1 match against her.
It's Divas. Who the fuck cares?
Someone
The referee ties Nikki's hand behind her back. Alicia then just attacks Nikki before the ref can tie her up. No match. So that happened. Tonight,
Yep.
Cena versus Rollins. We come back for Rusev flagging about. Lana something, Putin something, nap time. Enter RVD. In a Goldman box, Coulter challenges Rusev to a match against Jack Swagger at Battleground. RVD taps to the Accolade. Backstage, Randy is walking. His match with Dean is next. When we come back, we go back to the top of the show for Roman calling Kane Randy's bitch, and then they fight. Randy pins Dean after an RKO. Tonight on Raw, Bret Hart. Backstage, Renee is with John Cena. He is still wearing the title belts like an asshole. When we come back,
stop it.
they're not a fucking scarf.
How the fuck is he supposed to wear him? He's got two belts. He's supposed to put him like one around his waist and one around his chest. Like, what do you want the man to do?
At least one on the waist. Not like a fucking scarf.
He's champion. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
When we come back, Hongo is on commentary to announce his participation in the Battleground Battle Royal. Then, Justin announces a match between two of the principals of the Battle Royal. Still not sure what that means.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Alberto and Dolph. Alberto wins off the Hongo distraction and moves on to face Sheamus for the United States Championship tomorrow night on Main Event.
Nice.
Backstage, the Dust Brothers are weird.
Yeah, they are.
Tonight, Jericho versus Miz plus Bret Hart up next. We come back to Fandango walking. He is approached by Layla. She questions his motivation. They then hug. Nearby, Summer Rae is hot.
That was so fucking weird, too.
In the ring, Jerry Lawler introduces the Hitman. Bret kisses some Montreal ass, some of it in French, until he's interrupted by Bret Sandhart. He calls Canada, Sandhart that is, calls Canada a third world country.
That was awesome.
Hitman punches him out of the ring. Enter Sheamus. Their match is after the break. Surprise! Sheamus wins. Backstage, Renee is with The Miz. He has a fake letter from a fake fan. We come back for pimping of
nice
main
touch.
event. What's that?
So that was a nice touch. I like that.
No. We come back for pimping of main event, then Jericho taking out Miz last week, then getting a sheep cut. Miz taps to the walls. Sheep cut, Bray's in his chair on the stage. Jericho's the first one to talk back to Wyatt to his face, as I recall, so that was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jericho says he agrees with Wyatt. Actions speak louder than words, so he's going to go get him some.
Go get you some.
Sheep cut, and now we've got Rowan and Harper on the stage. Nothing happens, and we sheep cut to commercial. We come back for the intros for a Divas tag match, Dunkafactals versus Paige. Paige does the honors of calling AJ to the ring. This team will last all of 2 minutes. I was wrong about that. Cameron applies lip balm lip gloss instead of tagging in.
My question on that was, where the fuck did she pull that from?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know, but like, it was just all of a sudden she's got lip balm, and I'm like, what the hell?
Cameron tags herself in to take the page turner for the pinfall. That worked better than I thought it would. Dunks bicker and finally fight. Oh, they're broken up now. Cena versus Rollins is later. Mind you, it's already 10:30. We come back for a replay of Cesaro beating the shit out of Kofi last week. Cesaro is sans eye patch. Paul Heyman gloats about stuff, then Cesaro makes fun of French Canadians. This is a rematch from last week. Kofi wins quickly, then gets beaten up again. Big E runs out to make the save because they're friends now.
Yeah. I was wondering about that too. I was like, it's another racist moment. That's all I could think of.
Backstage, Rollins talks to Cena. This Friday on SmackDown, Reigns versus Rusev. Okay. It's
that's got to be a schmoz. Like they can't break the streak already.
No, and they can't have. And Rusev is not going to pin Rollins or make him tap out, I should say. It's Fernando, I think, against the inspirational Bo Dallas.
No, I think it's the other one. I think Fernando's the hurt one.
Who gives a shit? We go back to SmackDown for Bo Dallas inspiring El Torito to get taller. They say that Bo beating up El Torito was supposed to make us boo him. Huh.
Didn't work for me.
About that. It's El Torito versus Bo. Fuck that as well.
Almost freaked out.
A Bo Dog pins
wins.
Torito. Again, heel? Question mark?
I love the next part is my favorite.
What's that? I don't think
he runs he celebrates and he eventually goes and does his lap and Torito's on the outside getting up like he's all like groggy and holding his head and Bo comes running and just barrels right into him without even like noticing
I
it.
missed that completely.
And just keeps running. I found a GIF of it online. It just loops. It's hilarious. I'll share that with you. I died laughing.
Nice.
Funniest bit of the whole night.
We come back for a promo for the preview of Monday Night War, then enter Cena at 10:52. We go to break at 10:55.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
Kane comes out to beat up Cena, then Orton joins the fray. Roman makes a save, and Seth takes him out with a briefcase. He then clocks Cena with the briefcase. Seth calls for a referee. Dean Ambrose then appears from the crowd to take out Seth, as promised. They fight to the back, then Cena recovers so he can AA Orton. Reigns saves Cena from a chokeslam thanks to a spear. They stand off as we go off the air.
So Bill and I were arguing about this question.
Bill Nye was arguing?
What's that?
Bill Nye was arguing?
No, Bill and I. Thank you.
Oh.
The whole thing with Dean Ambrose constantly stopping Seth Rollins from cashing in.
Yeah.
Bill professes that it makes absolutely no sense for him to do this. That it would make far more sense for him to allow him to cash in the actual thing, let the match start, and then get involved,
Okay.
and basically ruin his chance.
Hold on that thought.
Okay.
We will get to that later.
We will get to it. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's in anyway, it's in a different segment.
Okay. Cool. So, is the Superstars or main event next?
Ah, fuck Superstars. What happened on main event?
Main event. Since I have the network, I feel like I really should give main event a chance. So this week I bit the bullet. I said, Adam, don't worry about it. You've got a life right now. I don't, because I'm just, a teacher on summer break. So I gave it a shot. You're going to get a very Andy-rific main event review. Tonight we get a return of the highlight reel with Chris Jericho and a very special guest, Bret Gray Hair Hart. So that'll be interesting, maybe. But our first match is a last man standing bout, of all things, for the United States title. Did not know they were doing this. But tonight it is Alberto Del Rio once again getting a chance to claim the United States Championship from Sheamus. And given their last match, I'm excited. And guess what? They deliver. Fuck you, Adam. It was amazing. It was the only decent match on main event. Sheamus gets on the mic before the match starts and says that he will successfully defend his U.S. title tonight, and then he's going to win the Battle Royal and then merge the Intercontinental and U.S. title together into one title, which is something I'm all for. Del Rio gets on the Tron. What?
I'm okay with that, but not if it's Sheamus that does it.
Well, Del Rio then gets on the Tron and says that he will be the one to combine the championships after he wins the title from Sheamus tonight. Sheamus then explains what a last man standing match is to good old Del Rio and what he's going to do to him. Sheamus is ready to fight, and Del Rio is ready to oblige. The match starts out rather brutally with Sheamus throwing Del Rio around the outside of the ring. A header into the post turns things around for Del Rio. Most of the beginning of the match happens on the outside in the first segment, and then eventually goes back and forth and eventually gets into the ring. In the match, we see Sheamus brutally caned with a kendo stick multiple times and eventually turned the other way around. And then we also see that kick that won Del Rio the world title land into a chair, which then lands into Sheamus' skull. We see a Miss Brogue kick countered into a backstabber. And since the fans asked for it from the very beginning, we eventually, near the end in the third segment, get a table brought out. The time spent setting up the table affords Del Rio the advantage, and Sheamus is thrown right into a chair set up in the corner. A cross arm breaker is countered by Sheamus into a powerbomb through the table, leading to a very close 9 count. Del Rio managing to get up from that, but he is then hit with a brogue and is down for the 10 count. Again, despite what Adam thinks, because he didn't see the matches anyway, so fuck him. Another great match between the two, and as Sheamus retains the title. We get a recap. What's that?
Said surprise.
Surprise. We get a recap of Miz and Jericho's return, and then the Wyatt attack. Wyatt and Jericho go one-on-one at Battleground as a result. Renee interviews Jericho backstage about his match with Wyatt, and Jericho thanks Bray once again, reminding him once again about the dangers of the WWE. At Battleground, he reciprocates the favor by showing him just how dangerous he can be. He steps on that big, dark, black spider at Battleground. More recaps from Raw with Cena and my boy Seth. We get a reminder of the Fatal 4-Way World Title match and a Divas match, including Nikki Bella, for fuck's sake. And it's a 6-on-1 handicap match. Yay! At least that's kind of exciting, so we get to see a bunch of divas beat the shit out of Nikki Bella. She takes on the cast of Total Divas, 10/9 Central on E, or now on the WWE Network on Thursdays. Tonight it's Rosa, Natty, Eva Marie, Summer, and Naomi taking... Wait a minute. Now, I may be an English major, Adam, but I only count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 titties in this match against Nikki's 2 sizable ones. So they said it was a 6-on-1. So apparently someone backstage can't count their cunts correctly. So Anyway, we're told a bit later that apparently Cameron is supposed to be in that match, but unfortunately she got maybe stuck behind some guy in this ugly little putt-putt blue car that needs to hurry the fuck up. That's a
Speaking of cunts.
that's a quote from Total Divas, by the way,
Mhm.
which I will be reviewing not this week,
Oh,
but soon,
God.
very soon. Uh, we are stuck watching Nikki sell horribly to the cast of Total Divas, with Naomi and Natty looking upset and refusing to get in the match itself. And they always smile when Bella gets in a little bit of offense. A blind tag from Eva Marie of all people, and a DDT by her spells a win. Get this for Eva Marie on main event. After the match, Cameron arrives and attacks Nikki. Naomi chases her off. Catfight. Watch Total Divas.
Don't.
Do it. Your main event.
Don't let that shit continue.
Oh, can't wait. Your main event on main event is the highlight reel. And before
That's
and
2
Brett,
weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row
Yeah.
with the talk segment as the main event on
it's
main
kinda
event.
weird.
That's disappointing.
And before he and Brett can get too far into the interview, they're thankfully, by the way, because Brett is awful on the mic. They're interrupted by, yes, you know it, HDK. Yes, Damian Sandow is dressed up as Shawn Michaels.
I have to watch that.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Jericho and Brett do their best not to break character as Damian comes down to the ring. The fans get on Sandow right away, chanting, "You screwed Brett! You screwed Brett!" Jericho plays it up, but then states that Shawn has really let himself go, and bashes Damian's terrible looks, calling him a fish with a big old beard. What Sandow misses in the voice, he's not very good with the voice, he makes up for excellently in facial and hand gestures. It just totally Shawn Michaels. Tonight, he will commit what he calls the Ottawa screwjob and send Brett packing back to Ted Turner and WCW, which was confusing to me, just saying. Brett ends up clocking him, puts him in the sharpshooter, HDK taps, and we end the show. Up next for Sandow, maybe dressed up as Sting on Raw, maybe. Thoughts on main event?
Well, there was that thing on Sting's Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Was the internet abuzz?
Mm-hmm. You know, I wonder if I for my job I have to watch all these like training videos every year. And one of the ones on suicide prevention. Is that like maybe he's just like that's a cry for help? It's like a suicide note, and like we'll see what happens. It'd be sad. I mean, he did post a picture.
For the few people on the internet who are unaware, Sting's first Twitter post since April was a very dark picture of his face.
I was reading on a website, and a bunch of comments were like, well, why are people making a big deal out of it? I think he just finally figured out how to do a selfie.
And the text 7/14/14, which is this Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing is that Psycho Sid then also posted 7/14/14.
Was he just fucking with us?
What the fuck that's about? But
good old Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
When is TNA broadcast?
Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
Are they on Monday nights? That was cute.
We've seen the way that show is run.
When Hogan first took over, they tried.
Yeah.
And then they failed miserably and made up an excuse to go back to Thursdays.
Those idiots.
Our fans have been demanding it. Yeah, sure they have. I think your advertisers have been demanding it.
I think so.
You know what it's time for?
Viewer mail?
We did get an email from Sal, but it was a Dear WWE, so that comes later. So that Sal's check-in falls into a different category this week, which means it's time
for the Rundown Showdown.
For the Rundown Showdown.
Yeah, baby. I was hitting up the interwebs like crazy. I've been twatting everywhere. It's been a busy couple days. I've been feeling like one of the Bellas.
CM Punk this week. Let's go to the text. Edge has had a successful career and faced tougher opponents than CM Punk. X-Pac. CM
damn
Punk. CM Punk is better because he accomplished more and still may add to those accomplishments. And if he is done, he may flabbergast Jolly Whippers.
I'm not sure what that means.
Nope. This next one just says longevity.
Okay.
They are tough match between Eskimo brothers, but Punk's title reigns are way too legendary.
Mm-hmm.
We have one that says Edge, 'cause I said so.
Mm.
Then the next one says, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
That's
Then the next one says,
gotta be
Best in
Bill.
the world.
I think that was mine.
This is a hard one because other, I don't know what that says, because other tasted each other when they fought each other. Edge had Lita first, but Punk had Beth first. AJ wants to be Lita, so
maybe
there
tasting.
will be an angle where she cheats on Punk to have live sex with Edge that brings back Punk. So with that, Edge, because he went Ring of Fire, not Ring of Honor.
So maybe it is tasting each other. So it's like
I don't know.
they both went down the same woman.
I vote Edge for several reasons. 13 years of excellent matches, being part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the 15-second poses, the TLC matches, the Brood, the live sex celebration, the manipulation of Vicky Guerrero, the first ever Money in the Bank cash-in, but mostly because fuck Matt Hardy. And the last one says, because he is straight edge and he is better than you. Taxes. Yes, my boss and his brother have their own special
Closings.
I don't know if you want to call it signature. But yeah, closing.
Yeah, it's a signature.
So, all right, by a margin.
Do it right, goddammit. You're not going to.
By a total of 63 to 38%, which adds up to 101. Don't do math. Yes, it does. Okay. It still says 100%, but anyway. Anyway, the winner by 4 votes.
Uh-huh.
It is not the 7th, not the 8th Doctor, no.
Damn it.
By 4 votes. And
CM
moving
Punk,
on
CM Punk.
to the next round. 4 votes.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to see how long there would be silence before you freaked out and did something. 4 votes.
I can't handle silence.
Moving on to round number 3. To face Shawn Michaels.
To lose, because Shawn Michaels will ultimately win the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe. 63% to 38%.
Oh my God, just tell us! God damn it!
Edge.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, sadness.
So we go back to my notes here.
You guys got that one wrong.
I agree, but I don't vote, so.
I do, because why the fuck not?
Which brings us to Dear WWE.
Ah, yes.
We start with an email from Beyond the Grave.
Oh.
As former co-host Sean sent in an email last week. Saying, here's a quick Dear WWE for next week, since I just realized I forgot to make this point when we taped last night. I don't know what he's talking about. I taped with Raccoon Reigns last week.
Mm-hmm.
Dear WWE fans.
Oh, I'm going to like this.
Please do not chant CM Punk every time AJ Lee comes to the ring, either to wrestle or talk. Yes, we all realize how intelligent and smarky you are because you know who she's engaged to in real life. But he's not here. She is. You know, the best female wrestler the company has had since Trish and Lita retired? Yeah, her. Meanwhile, CM Punk, pardon me, Phillip Brooks, which still weirds me out that his name is Phil. But anyway, meanwhile, CM Punk is kicking back in his Chicago apartment, going through pint after pint of Chunky Monkey, still collecting a paycheck, and bravo to him for that, because that's awesome.
It is awesome.
But he's not around, and his very talented fiancée is. Plus, now she's the Divas champion again, and she's primed for what could be an outstanding feud with Paige. The Divas division is starting to mean something again, so don't ruin it by essentially chanting, "You're fucking that guy." You're fucking that guy. I guess what I'm saying is get the sand out of your collective vaginas and appreciate the fact that AJ is back. Chant for Phil once he returns, but in the meantime, enjoy what you have. Don't be the bratty little kid who opens his Christmas present and then bitches when he realizes he got the Furby when he actually wanted the Tickle Me Elmo. I assume those are still the toys the kids play with, right? Both are awesome, so appreciate the one you have, you cocks. Now,
Nice.
if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back to chanting Naomi at Jey Uso. Love the raccoon.
Right. Nice. I like that.
Sent, I don't know if this is going to come up on the screen when I hold this up here. It's not because it's too... Oh, yes, maybe down there at the bottom. Sent from my raccoon phone. Sorry, I ruined the gimmick by saying it was... Anyway, we'll edit that out later. No, we won't. And then we go on to Sal's Weekly Check-In, which this week is in the form of a Dear WWE letter as well. Let me log back into my iPad there. Okay. Dear WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I think you are committed to showcasing a good, strong product, you start to fuck it up again, don't you? Here are 5 things you need to figure out. Number 1, you are making the briefcase boring. It has been 8 days since Money in the Bank, and I'm already sick of the whole Rollins is cashing in. Wait, here comes Ambrose. Thanks for killing that dynamic so quickly.
Completely disagree.
Yeah, me too. Number 2. Cena versus Brock at SummerSlam is not going to be the big draw you think it is. Number 3.
I disagree with that as well, but that's
we'll
just me.
take it about a point-by-point basis. Number 3. Thanks for wasting talent. See Cesaro, Page, and Sandow. Number 4. Speaking of Page, you blew that quicker than Sonny backstage in a WWE locker room in 1995.
Nice.
And number 5. I hate that I already know your ending at Battleground. Cena pins Kane after Roman spears Randy Orton through the ropes to the outside, effectively taking them both out of the match for the pinfall after an attitude adjustment. Sincerely, Sal. P.S. WWE creative, annoyingly predictable. Number 1. I also disagree. I think they have to establish the premise, doing that is going to mean that it happens very frequently over the beginning of the run. And
yeah, absolutely.
They can spread them out to the point where I really hope we get to a point where at some point we forget about it, and Rollins comes out to cash in, and Ambrose appears out of nowhere, and you go, "Oh yeah, fucking that, right?"
Yeah, it'll keep happening.
We have to establish the premise.
Yeah, it'll keep happening.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing, because that will continue to build up the rivalry between those two, which can end with a series of, let's say, a match at this coming pay-per-view, and then is SummerSlam the next one after this one?
Yes.
And then culminate with a match at SummerSlam. So whoever they're gonna have go over, I mean, that's fine, but like they'll have 2 really good matches at 2 really big pay-per-views. Special.
Well,
sorry.
I wouldn't call Battleground a really big.
Okay. Well, 1 pay-per-view, one really big event, and they will. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like what you said, actually, they'll just hopefully forget about it for a while. They'll go on to do other things, and then he'll go to cash in, and then he'll be there again. And he'll be like, "God damn it!" I think. Oh yeah, I agree 100% with you.
As I said in our Money in the Bank prediction show, I was almost expecting something that leads to a match between the two for the briefcase.
Yeah, I could see that.
I would still like to see that happen. Perhaps further on down the line than I initially wanted it to, with the stipulation added that if Seth retains the briefcase, then Dean is not allowed to fuck with his cash-ins anymore.
Which I think that would be great. I think that would be a great stipulation, which would make it more interesting.
Right, and it would allow him to actually finally cash in after that. But
yeah, I think that's great.
Point number 2, Cena Brock at SummerSlam not going to be as big of a draw. Yeah, it will be. And you know me, I am annoyed with John Cena and I am annoyed with Brock Lesnar.
That'll be a big
fucking money match. Yeah. I'm sorry, Sal, but you're wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean you've got the 2 biggest, two of the biggest names they could bring in for that event. In all honesty, to main event, honestly, it's going to draw big money.
And Brock Lesnar's going to win. Number 3 rather. 1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 5.
I'm King Arthur all of a sudden. Number 3. Who's going to get that reference? Thanks for wasting talent. See Cesaro, Page, and Sandow. Cesaro is not wasted. He's going to win the Intercontinental title at Battleground. And also, he's with Paul Heyman. That's
Uh,
not a waste.
yeah, I could see that happening. I could see that happening, and then they will have a match eventually to combine the two together.
Paige, I still don't see how. I don't at all see how Paige is being wasted.
I think that her losing the title shouldn't have happened that way.
I
It should have gone
don't
back a different
disagree
way.
with you. I don't disagree with you about that. I do see kind of a more of a slow burn to this
And I hope they do.
explosion.
Yeah, I hope they do.
Very long. There's a very long fuse on this eventual explosion.
The only thing that I want to see more with that feud that I was kind of concerned with about the way they're doing it is the last two times where she's like they were kind of working together, she like claps for her. AJ doesn't seem confused by it. Do you notice that like in her facial expression, she doesn't seem like, oh, this is weird that you're like clapping for me and trying to help me out. Like she never once shows any concern, which I don't like.
Yeah, all right.
But otherwise, yeah, I agree. I think the slow burn will be great.
Right. Number 4. No, and Sandow. I kind of agree, probably not for the reason you're thinking of.
Right.
Sandow is not being. I don't think. I'm going to say Sandow is not being buried. People, I am annoyed. I am annoyed with the character, but 2 weeks ago on Raw, he came out as Vince McMahon. So I think right there is a distinction and a definition of no, they're behind this gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he came out as Vince McMahon. This week he came out as Bret Hart to Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So while I don't think it is anywhere close to allowing him to realize his full potential, he's still on TV.
Yeah.
And it has to lead to something, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's going to go somewhere.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. Speaking of Paige, you blew that quicker than Sonny. We already talked about that. And I hate that I already know you're ending at Battleground. Well, Cena has to retain the title to go on to SummerSlam to defend and lose to Brock Lesnar. So, yeah. And they're not going to have Roman go under, and they're probably not going to have Randy go under. So
I'm thinking there's going to be some shenanigans that sets up Roman versus Triple H in that match, personally. Because I see that happening at SummerSlam.
Interesting.
That's just me.
Well, maybe, but I'm not sure exactly how.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got Kane and you've got Orton in the match already. Maybe Trips comes out and stops, him from winning the title. I don't know. I think that'd be a neat match to have. I think they might try to set that up. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Battlegrounds coming up. I think next week is our prediction show for Battlegrounds.
Really, already? Troy on the side.
There's only 3 weeks between pay-per-views this cycle, so.
Troy on the side says Sandow is on every Raw. Zack Ryder? Not so much. Ryder is being buried. Sandow is getting a push. I agree. Right.
So that's better phrasing than I was able to come up
Absolutely.
with. But yes, that was my point. Sandow is on TV, so the company is behind him.
Yeah.
It's not Zack Ryder getting pushed off a stage in a wheelchair and then not appearing on TV until it's time to lose to Rusev again. So, I mean, yeah, he's not winning all the time, but he's still entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. He's running with it.
So, I'm intrigued. Send your Dear WWE letter to rundownwrestling@gmail.com. And with the top of the hour, means it's time for the news this week.
Let's do it.
According to WWE.com, bad news. Barrett underwent shoulder surgery for his separated shoulder that has kept him off Money in the Bank and has forced them to strip him of the Intercontinental title. God damn you, Jack Swagger, you son of a bitch.
Pass that along, JBL. Pass that along. Which I didn't hear raccoon. So if any of you heard the word raccoon, because I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have while I was watching. So if anyone heard the word raccoon, let us know. Email us at rundownwrestling@gmail.com.
If you have recorded it as an MP3, email that to us and I can put it at the end of the show. But Dr. Jeff Dugas performed the surgery, and WWE physician Dr. Chris Ahman provided the following update on Barrett, saying, quote, "Bad news, Barrett underwent a ligament reconstruction in his shoulder, as well as a distal clavicle resection, where the end of the collarbone is shaved off. Ugh. The
That sounds
operation went very
terrible.
well. He is resting comfortably."
Ugh. So how did they say how long he's gonna be out?
God damn it, Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Michael Cole said on Raw months, so
Mm,
it's probably your typical 6 to 8 weeks, I would say.
probably.
Maybe a little longer.
Well, maybe. Hopefully, when he comes back,
eight-
he'll be pushed back up again.
8 to 12, maybe. So I am
Crazy.
hoping that he reappears on television before he's actually cleared to wrestle, so he can still give us the bad news.
I agree. We
Because
need the
that's a
bad news.
character that does not need to wrestle every week to be on
That's true. To be
television.
effective. Yeah.
That is a promo-based character, so.
Yeah.
Come back soon.
We miss you.
I do miss you. Who's Dean Ambrose going to fight on Raw now?
I know.
Next! The Wrestling Observer reports that the new season of Tough Enough was scheduled
I
to
thought you were
begin
gonna say
this week. However, due to the recent WWE budget cuts, the new season is now up in the air. People involved got the directive to reduce production costs on the project. At last word, it was not 100% as to whether or not they would even start filming the season as scheduled. F4WOnline.com reports that the planned new season of Tough Enough has been delayed until October.
Hmm.
The show was originally scheduled to begin filming this weekend at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando and would air on the network. A previous report indicated the show was in trouble due to the budget cuts. Vince, again, apparently trying to cut $20 million from the budget.
Goddamn WWE.
A reminder, if you have any ideas for Vince on how to cut the budget, send them to rundownwrestling@gmail.com. We know that Michael Cole and JBL and Triple H listen to the podcast, so I am sure that they will welcome your suggestions as to how Vince can cut the budget.
Absolutely.
Yes. Next.
Washasha.
Sad news this week.
Oh,
Sad news this week.
sad panda.
Santino Marella revealed at the WWE house show
I was
in
okay with
Toronto this week that his in-ring career has come to an end.
Oh, poor Santino.
Marella told the live crowd that he has suffered his third neck injury, and that has brought an end to the active wrestling portion of his career. He also acknowledged his Canadian roots and said that he never had the chance to be introduced from Toronto, Canada, since his characters billed from Italy. Marella debuted on WWE TV on April 16th, 2007. Can you believe it was that long ago?
That's a long time ago.
By defeating Umaga for the Intercontinental Championship. During his run with the company, he won the Intercontinental title a second time, after which he began a humorous yet sadly unsuccessful quest to top the Honky Tonk Man's record-breaking reign, as well as winning the tag titles with Vladimir Kozlov and the United States Championship. I was there the night that he won the United States Championship. He was also named Miss WrestleMania, competing as his sister Santina at WrestleMania 25. He lost that title to Vicky Guerrero, but won it back a month later by beating Vicky and Chavo in a handicap hog pen match.
Oh my God.
I've said it before. I will say it again. Long live the Honkometer!
I am okay with him not being a wrestler. I think he could still be around as an entertainer. He should be a backstage interviewer. That's what he should do. I think that would be funny.
In character accent and all.
Yes, I agree.
Because his regular voice is fucking boring. I've heard it, and it's weird because I'm so used to hearing him with fake Italian accent.
With the flourishes and such.
Yeah. But we'll miss you, Santino.
Thank you for the memories.
Leave the memories alone.
Don't touch my hammer.
I don't actually know that song.
Don't
touch my hammer?
I said memories.
Man. Oh. Anyway. Next.
Washasha.
a funnier story.
Ah, we need a pick me up after that.
We'll lighten the mood after Santino. A lawsuit against WWE and Natalia Neidhart that was filed on June the 27th was dropped last Monday in Florida. Christopher Donnelly, who is in a Pennsylvania prison, filed a handwritten lawsuit asking for $250,000, saying if he wasn't paid, he threatened to go to the media, and also mentioned several claims about Natalia. He claimed that she was a dominatrix who beat him while they were at hotels in the United States from 2005 to 2009, forced him to suffer extreme sexual abuse, and forced him to prostitute himself in Miami, Florida.
Well then,
Donnelly
that's
said he
odd.
wanted the money for mental and psychological trauma, but spelled psychological wrong in the filing. The judge dismissed the lawsuit and said that the complaint was filed with delusional language, you think?
Wow.
With no standing under Florida law.
Yeah, weird. You know, Natty follows us on Twitter. So hi,
She
Natty.
does.
Hi, Natty. That's
true.
that's really weird. So Natalia, let us know. You could send me a tweet. Send the rundown a tweet. Let us know. Are you really in reality a dominatrix?
What was the name of that that black diva who was the dominatrix to the Basham brothers?
That was I just saw her on an episode, and I was like, I don't remember who she was. It was
that Shaniqua?
Shaniqua.
Okay.
It was Shaniqua think I sent you that text. I was like, do you remember Shaniqua?
You did.
And you're like, nope.
I didn't remember her by name.
Yeah.
But
There's
who
just
could
some
forget?
like, yeah.
Who could forget BDSM Basham brothers? Really?
Mm,
Yeah, she was on Tough Enough, I think.
really?
Eva Search, maybe. And then she appeared, and then she disappeared just as
Yeah.
fast.
She beat the shit out of some
Yeah.
divas.
Yeah. Was that on the network?
That was on the network. It was like a best of SmackDown or something I was watching.
Ugh. How did that end up in a best of?
It was the episode with the Iron Man match between Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle.
So it wasn't a clip show. It was full.
No, it was a full. Yeah, they just have thrown random episodes on the network.
Gotcha. All right. Next. Something Bill hates. We're going to promote another podcast on the show.
Oh,
Kurt Angle was a guest on Jim Ross's podcast.
I've not listened to that yet.
During his appearance, he stated that his contract with TNA expires on September 21st. He also stated that TNA offered him a contract extension, but he turned it down.
Oh.
Angle noted that his next wrestling contract will be his last, and he feels he needs to think about what that means for who he signs with. During the podcast, he also stated that he should be ready to return to the ring in October.
Oh. That's kind of good. I mean, he's clean now?
Well, he's recovering from surgery, I think, or a knee injury or something. I still am not 100% sure we're gonna see him wrestling for WWE.
No, I think if anything, he could be a personality or working backstage with the kids at NXT.
He can absolutely be a trainer and a road agent.
He'd be valuable.
He should be SmackDown GM again.
That would be awesome. I would be all for that. Bring Sting to be the general manager of Raw. Kurt could be the general manager of SmackDown. That'd be awesome.
Ric Flair comes back on Raw next week too. I think he's the new general manager of Raw, but we'll see what happens.
WWE should get all of the TNA Hall of Famers. like bring them all back.
And the Dudley, all they need is the Dudley Boys.
It's true. It's true.
Sorry, Team 3D.
Yeah.
Ugh. Next. And finally this week, follow-up to a story we posted last week. As you may recall, at the end of last week, our friend Raccoon Reigns channeled Psychic Renee Young.
Yes.
And predicted that Emma would get fired.
Yes.
Sixth-degree larceny arrest. Turns out she did, but WWE posted the following this week announcing the release of Diva Emma. WWE has come to terms with the release of WWE Diva Emma as of today, July 2nd, 2014. WWE wishes Emma the best in all her future endeavors. Of course, as we mentioned, Emma was arrested last week and was charged with sixth-degree larceny for, quote-unquote, accidentally stealing an iPad
I think
case.
she probably accidentally did it.
using the self-checkout at a Walmart in Hartford, Connecticut. WWE.com then posted, upon further evaluation, the company has reinstated Emma to her position in the company. They added that they will take appropriate punitive action for her violation of the law. It's worth
She's already
noting
getting punished enough. She was working with Santino.
now she has nothing because Santino quit. It's worth noting that the company was besieged with comments on the initial .com post announcing her firing by people pointing out the hypocrisy of releasing Emma while keeping Cameron, who a couple of years ago had a DUI where she reportedly tried to bribe the police officer. Whether that played a factor or not is not known. The news article, which is the same as above, has had all comments cleared and now cannot be commented upon.
Wow.
TMZ reports that according to sources close to the situation, but again, this is TMZ, so
Keep that in mind.
have some salt in your diet. WWE officials realized that they overreacted and that it would put the expectation on them to take similar actions against talents who get arrested for just about any infraction, including DUIs and bribing police officers. P.S. Fuck you, Cameron. So Emma's gone, but then she's back. So Raccoon Reigns was maybe half right.
Well, he doesn't have the full touch.
He doesn't have the full gift of the sight. He doesn't have the full gift of the second sight.
He's an
not-
acolyte. He's
not a total.
he's a beginner.
He didn't go total Renee Young on it.
He's a novice Renee Young. I mean, she has to teach him more of the dark arts. Oh,
Sorry,
God.
Raccoon.
Better luck next time.
We'll see you back here soon, I'm sure. So that's good though. I think that's. I don't
Yeah.
think she should have been fired for that in the first place.
I don't think so either. If anything, punish her, but don't
Yeah.
fire her.
I know. Still can't remember her theme song though.
I was gonna Google that and I totally forgot.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
surprised you don't have it. You buy every.
I
theme.
haven't recently because I ain't gotten the monies, and so I have to earn iTunes.
You know why you don't have the monies? Because you buy lots of random music from WWE wrestlers.
I don't anymore though. I have a wish.
I know,
list
because you
on
can't
iTunes.
anymore. Just
Shut up, Mom.
well, clean your room.
You're trying. We moved bookcases yesterday in the
Oh.
heat. And also I'm sick.
Sorry about that.
But I think that does it.
I think so too.
I think that does it for the
Look at
rundown.
that short
for
little
this.
episode. See when
Well,
Sean
it's
and Josh are
short.
here?
An hour and a quarter short.
Well, that is short when we have like all these shows to like talk about.
For the rundown for this Wednesday, July the 9th, 2014, 121 days since the Usos won the WWE Tag Team
In
Championship.
3 weeks since Glenn Morton became the official Rundown fan. So get to buy-in, bitches.
Official listener. Again, if you want to be official listener, just donate more than $10 on PayPal and buy at least one copy of the book.
Which we'll get
I'm
to the
waiting.
URL
I'm
in a
waiting
moment.
for the point when it becomes someone has bought 2 copies of the book, and so the next person to become the official fan has to buy at least 2 copies of the book. Has to buy 3 copies of the book.
It'd
And
be
then-
cheaper than
We are
than-
not
than,
above. We are not above extorting our fans for
Yeah,
our own monetary.
we love our
gain.
fans. We love our fans and their money.
It's almost like we're an actual business. Atlantic Pro Wrestling this Saturday, July the 12th, at the APW Arena at the Newbury Fire Hall in Newbury, Massachusetts. Demon Ortiz versus RJ Brewer for the APW Heavyweight Championship. For all the details, go to AtlanticProWrestling.com. Lucky Pro Wrestling Summer Sizzle in Clinton, Massachusetts. Oh, that's a good Massachusetts. On Saturday, August 9th, go to LuckyProWrestling.weebly.com. W-E-E-B-L-Y, LuckyProWrestling.weebly.com. For more information, Elkmania 2, September 27th. Go to elkmania.com and see if they ever update that website. And Liberty States returns in October. LibertyStatesWrestling.com. Click over to the Facebook page.
Scott County Wrestling has In Your Bar uh, the hotness. I don't know what that means.
Indemented's Day.
That's July 11, 2014, at the Beer Stew Bar and Grill in Moline, Illinois.
Bar. Are they going to give
Bell
away a
time.
bar?
I don't know. Bell time. That'd be awesome. Bell time for that event is 9 p.m. Also, they have Red, White, and Bruised. July. I don't come up with it. July 19th, nor am I involved with the company anymore. I just like to help promote. July 19th, 2014, from the Walcott Coliseum in Walcott, Iowa. Bell time is at 7.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at Rundown Podcast.
I've been tweeting more, so follow us.
No, have you? I haven't even noticed because I don't get that.
I've been twatting like crazy.
Excellent. I live tweet Raw and occasionally SmackDown and usually pay-per-views. So at Rundown Podcast. Send your feedback, send your Ryback theme song, send your catchphrase suggestions, send your fake sponsor, send your real sponsor, send your Doctor Who Creator Wrestler templates for Pertwee through Hurt, send your questions for me to answer on YouTube, and your Dear WWE letters to rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling to make a donation of the monetary variety and get in the running to become official fan, official listener of the Rundown. Go to rundown.podomatic.com and click on the PayPal donate button on the right-hand side of the page. Watch our archived episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/rundownpodcast. And circle me on Google Plus at google.com/+Adam
Circle
host.
that jerk.
If you want to buy a book of poetry,
Oh, yeah.
also necessary to become official listener.
Yeah,
of
it
the
is,
podcast.
and it's just a damn good poetry book. You should definitely use it.
$2.50.
Yeah. Chasing Distant Horizons, a chapbook of poetry with some amazing little artwork in there as well. Go to tinyurl.com/distant horizons. You have to, it'll take you to the page. All you got to do is put in your credit card information, and boom, you download immediately the PDF, and you are set. You could read it from the comfort of your computer while you're sitting outside on your Kindle or phone. You could read it while driving. Don't do that, though.
I wouldn't recommend that, actually. Why isn't your name on the outside anywhere?
I don't know, because you got to open it up, find out. That's a good question. Why didn't I put the name on the outside there?
Yeah.
That seems like a faulty idea.
That's some. And
That's
there
'cause
are future.
It's not about me. It's about the poetry.
There are future projects in the works.
Yes, working on some future projects, podcast ideas, some writings, working.
How to touch a ray. Search for us on iTunes under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah,
if you
fuckers.
subscribe, you get the podcast delivered to you absolutely free each and every week for $0.00.
Yeah, fuckers.
We are also available on Stitcher. That is Stitcher.com or the Stitcher app on your iOS or Android device.
Absolutely.
Again, free, but you don't have to download it. You just stream it directly from your device from the Stitcher servers. You can choose from your favorites of tens of thousands of podcasts, but why would you choose any one other than this one?
That's a good question.
Help us rise in the Stitcher rankings. Cheat like I do. Open up your Stitcher app, press play on the newest episode of the Rundown, turn the volume down to almost zero. Just let it fucking go, man. Watch TV. Watch your baseball on TV. You got your Red Sox and White Sox going on right now. Meanwhile,
that's how I get through the mandatory videos I'm supposed to watch. I just kind of let it play and then tune in again when I have to answer like the same 3 questions they always ask us every year.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this thing's chugging away on the desk, playing the podcast, but you don't actually have to listen to it. You just have to play it all the way through.
Make sure you plug in your phone so you don't lose your battery life. He's coughing.
I have a cold. Thanks. Oh, and also, if you can't afford a donation of the monetary variety, go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review.
Do it.
Other people find us.
We've only got 10 reviews.
We have 14 5-star reviews, but only 10 text reviews. If you leave a text review, we will read your name and your review on a future program, like these fine people.
Cricket, 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 cricket.
Your cricket noise is not as good as the raccoon's cricket noise. I
You
don't even know how
have
the
to
raccoon
use your
makes the cricket noise.
That's
His
a
mouth
really
is
good
so small.
question. I think he's got one hidden in his trash can.
I'm glad you said trash can. Thanks. to Tegan Brown for the logo. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Sean and Trey. Trey?
Troy.
Mark? Troy, thank you. Troy for the comments on the side. Thanks to Andrew.
You are most welcome, my tag team partner.
Aw.
Ferocity.
Yeah. Oh, the Ferocitron.
Good
And
times.
thanks to I Fight Dragons for the theme song. Next week,
Oh!
still very loud.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to check to make sure. 100% sure. But I'm pretty. Stop that. I'm pretty
Sing
sure
along to the song.
next week is. That's not going to line up, and it's not going to line up, and it's going to sound horrible.
Probably.
Next week, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Battleground predictions plus what is it? Did I never mention next week's? I never mentioned next week's match in the Rundown Showdown.
No, what is it?
Triple H versus Jake Roberts next week. The game versus the Snake. So we'll see how that plays out.
Just don't play games with your snake, at least when other people are around.
Well, that's what the internet's for.
It's true.
Plus, Vince McMahon finally comes clean and tells us exactly which disease caused him to have testicles the size of grapefruits. I didn't even get a reference for making that woman uncomfortable on the sidewalk talking about Vince McMahon's testicles.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was hilarious. That woman who was just like, "Thank you for sharing."
That's what happens when we hang out.
It's very true.
And as always, remember. Jacob, good night and good luck.
Don't forget.
And go give us money.
We like money. I really do like money.
Absolutely.
Your fandango gets really lazy as the podcasts go on.
What are you gonna do? It's late. I'm tired.
See ya.
Bye.
And I click stop.
Yay. Stop.
See? Project as. He says 159?
Yes.
59.
We still have 2 viewers remaining. We got up to 3
Hey,
this week at one point. We got up to, I think, 4 or 5 last week, which was impressive. We never get that high anymore.
Oh.
But, yeah, I have a cold, so that might be the reason. Very.
That's the reason why we don't have followers, because you have a cold.
Very gravelly.
They do have a time like, oh, this bastard's going to sound really hoarse. Fuck that.
I don't want to catch a computer virus because I'm sick.
Ah! Yes, so.
I don't like coffee.
That was awful.
You're awful.
You're awful.
Your mom's awful.
That's very true.
Your mom's face is awful. You're not supposed to agree. That's mean.
I don't like my mom. Hey,
Aw.
so we should, if you're one of those listeners and you haven't written a review for iTunes, totally should go do that like right now. It takes like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
To get on the old iTunes.
Yeah. All you gotta do is click the button, man.
Yeah. The button's holding you back, I know, but just push that button. I'm on the Skippy.
Yeah, I'll just skip it. I got you. I gotta save my project here. I gotta save it to the desktop.
Oh, what the hell? Our rock station is turning into a country station.
That ain't cool.
That sucks.
I'll put the Skype on there for you, so you can send me that file on the Skype there. My boss, who may or may not still be watching, is on vacation for the next week and a half. Him and his brother.
Oh, should I talk about? So should I not talk about like all the bad things you said about your boss when we were hanging out?
Oh, shut up.
It's like, goddamn bastard, he makes me do work. I don't want to do work. I just want a paycheck.
See, that I would have said that about my old job.
That's true. You would have.
Although there were some winners today.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about that on the internet. So,
oh yeah, because we're live. We're live.
Right now.
Bye, people.
What that being for?
Wait, what?
All right, my computer's doing things because it does. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching episode 159 on the Google Plus.
See ya.
We'll be back next week, Wednesday, as per usual, on or
Wouldn't
about
wanna be
7:30. Usually around 7:30 is when we do it, and we finally get around to starting these things. So,
It's very true.
so look out for that, for the link on the
Look
Facebook.
out for it in your car.
Troy Bosen says he wrote a review months ago.
I know. It was
We
T.
must have read it on the program
We
then.
did. We read it. It was T.
Nice of you to finally show up on the
T.
Google Plus.
Bosen 82. I see. Like when he came in
That's
the
right.
last week or whatever, I
That's
recognized his name.
That's right. So yeah, go on next week Wednesday right there about the 7:30 show. We put the link on the Facebook and the Twitters, and then you can come and watch us fuck around for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's really what we do on this program.
Pretty true.
We have there's a summary, there's a synopsis, there's a schedule, if you will. There's a rubric. There's a rubric. That's a good word. Rubric.
I love the word rubric. I use it all the time because I'm a teacher.
There's a syllabus that we go by. That's not the right word. There's a margin that we go by.
There's an outline.
That's the word.
Because I remember when you sent me the outline, I'm like, huh. I didn't know this existed.
There is structure in this chaos, is what I'm saying.
Somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where, but it's somewhere.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Stop.
Yeah.